Hello and welcome to Goa 365 Story Behind the Story. Today we have with us people who are very much in environment, in ecology, and especially with everything that's going on in the state about the environment and the degradation and all. Sometimes it's very good, and especially under the shadow of the corona, it's very good that something good comes out from the ecology. We have PhD research scholar Akshatra Fernandes with us. She is a celebrity in her own way for Goa, and with us also is Miguel Braganza, who's been a former deputy director of agriculture, botanical society. He's and in various, this is one of his faces. He's got various other faces also included, but mostly connected with environment and agriculture. So Akshatra, Miguel, welcome to our show. Now Akshatra, before we start off, I would like you to give us a background on your discovery. You've discovered a totally new species of flower. So could you give us a background of that particular discovery in Goa?
So it was accident finding actually. I had a walk with Prasanna Bharat, who is very enthusiastic about spiders. So on Chandreshwar Hill, and one beautiful plant in on the Chandreshwar Hill, the cutting road side. Okay, and then I was little bit curious because I haven't before, especially on that neither in my field areas, field work. So I identified that plant, and it was showing little different characters from the identified earlier. Then I contacted Dr. Rituja Kulde, who just finished a PhD from university. Then she's one scholar of this particular genus, Sonerilla, in Calicut University in Kerala. So I spoke to her, and then I shared information. Then she, 2019, she came here to Goa in search of plant. Then we found that plant, and she identified it as a plant from the plants which are found in India, because she worked on this Sonerilla genus in India, throughout India.
Okay.
So she knows species or whatever is present in India.
Okay.
So with her knowledge, she identified that particular plant which was there on Chandreshwar Hill was similar to two plants, but it was different. One was Sonerilla Sri Narayana, and the other one was Sargoti. But it was in terms of petals and leaves, and even the rootstock, even the root, which is tuberous in this plant. Yeah, and then we published.
Okay. Congrats on that. Now, Miguel, some background on this starting off with this plant, and then starting off with the ecology of the state, because I want to get back to Akshatra later for more detail. But a little bit of background on the flora and fauna, given the background of what we are. What's happening in the state around. I'm not trying to make it political, please, but just under that, could you give us a little bit, shed some more light?
In Goa and the rest of the Konkan, we have a tradition of Devrai. Associated with the god of the village. A particular area is kept untouched. Not even a stick is taken out from there, not mushrooms, not anything. And similar is this Devrai around Sri Chandreshwar in Baroda.
Okay.
And these untouched areas have got plants like this one, which was never known before. There will be many more plants. In close by Kewana area, Dr. Janathanam has found one lily, Dipcardia guanensis. So there are plants which are yet to be discovered. And in this context, the wildlife sanctuaries that we have and the whole belt that was created by Lieutenant General J.F.R. Jacob
Yes.
when he was the governor of Goa and there was president's rule in 1999 summer. So these areas provide us with a lot of plants which will be useful in the future. The World Environment Day that we'll be celebrating in another 2 days' time has the theme ecosystem restoration. And here in Goa we have ecosystems which are not yet destroyed. So it is something that we need to protect. Not a political statement against development we require, but we also need to preserve what we have because we don't know what we are going to lose if we just go there like a bull in a china shop.
Miguel, now just to add on to this, now is it true that so many of our, so many species, so many genus are just getting destroyed and we don't even know that this is happening? Is it true? This is something that I want Akshatra to get on later, but you start off this first.
Yeah, every year worldwide we are losing species which we will most likely never get. And the genes that are there in them, the chemicals that are there in them, they could prove to be a great medicine in the future. In Ayurveda, so many plants are used, and then there's that anecdote that is told that a sage told a person who came to him to ask which plant is medicinal. He said, you go in the forest and you come back with one plant which is not medicinal. Now, all plants have medicinal uses. Some we know, some we don't yet know. And we are finding them, and therefore we need to preserve this. We have Nirmal Kulkarni who's working on reptiles, especially the Sicilians. We have Dr. Janathanam, Dr. Ashish Prabhugaonkar, and now Akshatra also working on these plants, identifying new ones. Also documenting the plants that we have. Akshatra has worked in documenting the plants which are there in Panjim. In the summer of 2006, she has walked all across Panjim for the Botanical Society of Goa to do the tree census and the listing of the plants in Panjim. So this needs to be done. Documentation and also finding out what has not yet known. Both these things are important.
Yeah, okay. Now it's interesting thing what Miguel. So I will go back to just divert slightly. What, like, give us an example of, give us this of what you did in Panjim and what exactly were you doing and what did you find and interesting, especially with the relevance that today everybody is out to cut all the trees in Panjim, which are like hundreds of years old, some of them. Akshatra?
We were doing our surveys on preliminary studies. Coordinator of this project in Panjim, and most of the trees were old and they were planted. And now, shed more light on this project.
Yeah, but what I wanted to know from you is, like, how old were these? What is the average year or age of these trees?
I can't estimate because I haven't been through that kind of thing.
Miguel?
Yeah. We have done a little bit of study asking people around who were there, and many of the rain trees, for example, were planted between 1950 and 1958.
Okay.
During that time, also in the Far East, in Singapore and Malaysia, also those rain trees were suddenly a fashion to plant. Okay. And that is the time they were planted here also. We have a connection, of course, with Singapore. There was Dr. Kaitan Xavier Furtad from Mercedes, who was there in the botanical gardens in Singapore, traveling up and down. Possibly he might have aided. And those plants came in. We have a lot of ficus trees, the subject on which Akshatra is doing her PhD, which have not been planted by anybody. They have grown from bird shit on other trees. The
Aksh-
ficus plant germinates from the bird shit, the seeds there in it, and sends roots down to the ground and then becomes a tree, killing the original tree, and that's the tree that's replacing. So all across, sometimes you'll find suddenly there are banyan trees and people trees which are not planted in that scheme, but they are there. So most of the trees may be around 60, 70 years old in Penjin, not of course on the Jacksikera road, which are planted in 1994, 96 under the State Bank scheme.
Okay. Akshatra, Miguel was talking about ficus. I don't know much about it. What exactly could you give us some more details, especially since you're writing on it or studying on it and researching on it?
21 ficus found in Goa. From a small climber to huge tree like banyan tree. We are familiar with banyan tree, then this people, old
Correct.
people, and
Yes.
then there are other trees which they look very horrible when they grow on other trees. They are gold.
Okay.
These are the Konkani terms for them because in time first they terminate as epiphytes. They are epiphytes, and then they will give out their roots on the ground, and then they will grow on their own. So in this process, they tend to kill the tree.
I see.
So it is like I'm taking your. I don't know whether you will live or die, but I need your support. So it is like that. So in time it will kill a tree, and then it will grow as a very huge structure with all those and all. Though all ficuses don't have crop roots, but banyan tree and people which we see, those have crop roots. And in forest, other these ficus species, which are very different. They don't usually give out crop roots, but they grow as epiphytes. And there are other garden ficus, which are very small climbers. You won't believe that these plants are of the same genus as that of banyan tree because they are very small and very delicate like. They will be growing on the walls of garden walls, especially for decoration purpose they are used. And they are called
Okay.
as like Unila in botanical terms. And about ficus, there is lot of depth. And keystone species also. Another interesting character is fruit. The fruit which we get on this banyan tree is actually a modified inflorescence, meaning there are flowers enclosed within it. The flowers are enclosed within it, and the flesh is outside. So there is another interesting mechanism for this flower, for this structure to be formed. And this structure is called iconium because it is a specialized structure. It is not pure fruit. It contains fruits within it.
I
And
see.
then there will be a small hole on it. We have seen this rumored, and there will be a small hole on the fig,
Okay.
and that is the entry point for inside. Wasps are very small insects which are which help the flowers to pollinate. Meaning the flowers which are there inside ficus, they have there are male flowers and female flowers which are separate, and then there will be pollens on male flowers which have to reach male flower to get the seed. So what this wasp will do is it will take it go inside the iconium through that small hole, and then in that process it will take pollens on its body, and then it will lay egg in female flowers. through that process, again, it will shed all the pollen whatever there on its body, on the stigma of the flower.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's how this fruit or these seeds will be formed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why we see cycles all around. They are very common, and we don't find them because they are produced in one tree.
Correct.
Because yeah, because of this mechanism, and the seeds are very tiny also. They are very easily disposable by birds anywhere
Okay.
around, and you don't
Okay.
have to find them specially also.
Now see, now you are saying that what it does, it takes the shade and support of the big tree, and then ultimately that it takes the support and then it dies, right? But what
Yeah.
about the trees around? Those are allowed to live, or those also die?
Yeah, those are allowed to live.
Okay.
Because of moisture, and the soil condition also becomes very humus because of the resident birds and other animals on that plant, on that
Okay.
tree. I
Okay.
have seen ficus allow other plants to grow
Okay.
under.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Akshatra, let me go back to this the flower that you discovered, the new species. Yes, could you give us details? Now, it's part of the genus is Sonorella, and your new one is Konkanensis. That's because you've named it because it's in the Konkan, because it's
Yeah.
found in the Konkan.
Because it is found in Konkan region, that's why we named it as Sonorella konkanensis.
Could you describe it to us? Could you give us an experience, like how and what, in like a little bit of detail for a layperson, common person?
Yeah, the flower, the plant is very small, like about 15 centimeter in size,
Mm.
and it have a storage organ, storage root, which
Okay.
we call as tuber.
Okay.
They have tubers. as
Tuber
root.
means it's hollow, right?
No, tuber means like sweet potato.
Ah, okay. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Yes.
The
Okay.
storage organ.
Okay.
It is like sweet potato. The
Okay.
starchy substance is there.
Okay.
Then, yeah. So this tuber helps that plant to survive dry season
Okay.
because it will store all the food material in it, and
Okay.
it will be dormant during the dry season. Once monsoon starts, this tuber will start sprouting like a elephant food yam.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like that. So they will sprout now once they get water.
Okay.
And then in August, September, they will start flowering. So their leaves are very light color, very bright green, light
I
green,
see. Okay. Okay.
and they are very hairy.
Okay.
Leaves and stem is very hairy,
Okay.
and flowers are small, pink in color.
Okay.
Flowers are brightly pink in color with
Okay.
yellow petals which carry pollens on them.
Okay. At the center. Correct. Okay.
Yeah. There are 3 petals.
That
For
is
that
the
flower.
that is the difference. That is the new species, right? The 3 petal part.
Yeah, that is the new species.
Okay.
There are 3 petals for that flower, and the flower will end the inflorescence, meaning the bunch of the flower will carry around 15 flowers, a full stalk, which will which will come from the main stalk. Will have 16 to 20 flowers on that.
Okay.
Very different. It is like you will get where there are cut edges of the hill.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Water. So with that water, we will get these plants mostly on rocks.
I see. Okay. Okay. Why rocks? Because it doesn't need water, or it needs less water, or it's better equipped to deal with less water.
It requires water for its survival, But I think because it requires support, otherwise it is very feeble plant.
Okay.
We have impatience in our gardens, no? So the plant is like that. It is very soft.
Okay.
So might
Okay.
be because of that. Don't know the reason.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Akshatra, tell me. I want to move on little bit from this. Now, how did you get into this field? I'm very interested in knowing how you got into eco and environment and plants. It takes a special type of person. We were just talking about it yesterday, Miguel and myself. How do you get into this?
My childhood, I'm very interested in these plants, birds. So during my childhood, I used to speak to them when it is not feeling well. So that's my mother and father is also there,
Okay.
who all are very supportive. And my mother used to tell me to monkeys what they eat, because here in my village around us there are a lot of monkeys.
You're from where,
Yeah,
Akshatra?
I am from village of
No,
Baroda.
where? You're from Baroda
Baroda.
itself. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I am from Baroda.
Okay.
And I went to a field, Harshada Gowns, Pranay Vaidya, Parag Rangnekar, Omkar Dharwadkar. Uh,
Yes.
I started my career with them as a research assistant.
Okay. Butterflies.
Guys, it was a whole biodiversity project, a whole biodiversity. Yeah, they
Oh,
taught us about whole biodiversity thing. First, I was interested in plants.
okay.
Earlier,
Plants.
I was interested in plants. Yeah,
Okay.
especially the edible plants. In my BSc, I was in edible
But this
plants.
as a research
Edible fruit.
assistant, assistant, you during your BSc you joined all this. You joined all of them
I joined after my MSc. Soon
after your
after my
MSc.
MSc. Yeah,
Okay.
after my MSc.
Okay.
Because zoology part that much, but I was interested. First in BSc, I was interested in edible plants. Then in MSc, I was interested in herbs, the very small plants which are there under Janardhanam sir. So he guided me to study herbs and all. And then I worked with Miguel sir on trees of Panjim city, where we were documenting the trees of Panjim city. Um, it was the first time project. Then I uh, this Harshada Gowns, Pranay sir, Parag Rangnekar, Omkar Dadwadkar, another project wherein we were documenting biodiversity, and there they taught us about dragonflies by Parag sir,
There, Parag,
then
yes.
butterflies, yeah, by Omkar sir, then ants by Pranay sir, then birds by Harshada. Into this kind of creatures, who all are very dependent on plants. And I used to curious look at these creatures like butterflies, how they go and feed on plants, because he told us about host plants, nectar plants, about butterflies. So I was a little bit curious to learn about butterflies and their host plants. Uh, it is so useful in especially in forest, especially anywhere. You can just see the tell the name of the plant. So yeah, because it is interconnected, it's interlinked, and
Okay.
in colleges, usually in colleges, uh, we learn subjects as different aspects, but it is not like that.
It's all
It is that
integrated.
yeah, everything is interlinked. If you know, it's easier to link and answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Miguel, you need more people like You need more people like Akshatra in Goa, I think, especially given the development agenda, which people don't know what the hell is they are doing or they are going. What do you feel? What do you feel? Goa, I'm a journalist for many years. You are aware. So you tend to become quite a cynic. But when you meet people like Akshatra, you get a sense of optimism. Yeah, no, this place has a future. Now you are senior to me. You are probably a bigger cynic than me, but also you are an incurable optimist also. So what do you have to say on all this?
In fact, I am very fortunate to be interacting and mentoring some very inspirational persons of the next generation. Akshatra is one of them. Shweta Gaonkar, who climbs coconut trees and caps Toddy, is another inspiration.
We have to bring her one of these days. Miguel, I think you should do that.
Priyanka, who has been coordinating all these webinars, is another inspirational person.
Correct.
So there are inspirational persons, and what I feel in Goa is we are very generous with criticism, but appreciation is something we are very miserly. And youth like Akshatra or Priyanka or Shweta or Lisa, who's doing a lot of work in Vasco, a little bit of appreciation I think is called for, and these are going to be the inspiration for the next generation. I'm sure the next generation is going to be better than us.
I hope. It needs to be. If they are like us, Miguel, we are in trouble. This much I can say. I can say one thing, Miguel. You know the type of people generally we meet and meeting Akshatra and thanks to and the work that she's doing and the work that you're doing, it's like a breath of fresh air, which it makes me feel optimistic also about the future, about Goa. Akshatra, it was a real pleasure talking to you, and it's a privilege that you have come on our show. It is my privilege to host you on this show. You and some of the names I remember. We have to do this, Miguel, about the coconut designer. You guys are the rock stars of this state. You people, you youth who are into this environment, into this eco, into the land. You all are the people. It's not the guys whom you see on TV regularly, like the politicians. And you are the guys. Continue with this work. And Miguel, Akshatra, thank you very much for coming on my show, on our show. Thank you. It was a privilege. Thank you very much. And keep watching
Thank you.
Goa 360.
Thank you.